The government has confirmed how much money it gave to the royal family last year and how much it will provide in the future. The taxpayer-funded settlement, known as the sovereign grant, is paid annually but is not the king's only source of income. How much money does the royal family get from the taxpayer? Hello and welcome to Royal Scandal. Please do well to like, subscribe, comment and turn on the notification bell so as not to miss out on any news updates. For 2022 to 2023, the sovereign grant was worth £86.3 million, the same as in 2021 to 2022. But repairs to Buckingham Palace, which is undergoing a 10-year £369 million refurbishment plan, and the costs associated with King Charles succeeding Queen Elizabeth, plus higher than expected inflation, took total spending for the period to £107.5 million, according to the royal household's annual financial report. That represents a 5% increase on the £102.4 million spent the previous year. The shortfall, with spending greater than the sovereign grant, meant drawing £20.7 million from reserves. What is the sovereign grant spent on? The king and other working members of the royal family used the money to pay for expenses related to their official duties. The vast majority is spent on the upkeep of properties and staff costs. Members of the royal family carried out 2,700 engagements across the UK and abroad during the year. More than 95,000 guests attended 330 events at royal residences, including receptions, award investitures, and garden parties. Buckingham Palace received more than 183,000 items of correspondence. How is the sovereign grant worked out? The royal family was previously funded through a fixed annual payment known as the civil list. This was replaced by the sovereign grant in 2012. Profits of the Crown Estate, a property business owned by the monarch but run independently, go to the Treasury. The level of profit is used as a benchmark to calculate the funding given by the government to the royal family. The Crown Estate had assets worth £16.5 billion in 2022, almost £8 billion of properties in London, including Regent Street, as well as nearly half the land along the coast of England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. It is not the king's private property, it merely belongs to the monarch for the duration of their reign. The king cannot sell its assets or keep any profits for himself. The sovereign grant had been worth 15% of the Crown Estate profits generated 2 years previously. In 2017 it was agreed that this would increase to 25% for 10 years to help pay for the Buckingham Palace repairs. Under the Sovereign Grant Act 2011, if the Crown Estate's profits fall, the monarch still receives the same amount as the previous year, with the government making up the difference. How is the sovereign grant changing? After a review, the government announced the sovereign grant will be worth 12% of the Crown Estate's profits from next year. The decision follows a significant increase in profits from 6 new offshore wind farms on the Crown Estate, worth £1 billion. In January, King Charles said he wanted the extra profits to be used for the wider public good. Cutting the percentage will mean the total sovereign grant for 2024 to 25 will remain at £86.3 million for the third consecutive year. However, if Crown Estate profits grow as predicted, even under the reduced formula, the amount given to the royal family would then increase substantially, to £124.8 million in 2025 to 2026 and £126 million in 2026 to 2027. The 12% figure is due to remain in place until the end of the 10-year Buckingham Palace restoration project in 2027. How else does the royal family receive money? The king also receives money from a private estate called the Duchy of Lancaster, which is passed down from monarch to monarch. It covers more than 18,000 hectares of land in areas such as Lancashire and Yorkshire, as well as property in central London. Worth £654 million, it generates about £20 million a year in profits. Whoever holds the title of Duke of Cornwall, currently Prince William, benefits from the Duchy of Cornwall. It mainly covers land in southwest England. Worth £1 billion, it generated a net surplus of £24 million in 2022 to 23. The King and Prince William receive the profits from the duchies personally, and can spend them as they wish. However, they are not entitled to any proceeds from the sale of any estate assets, which must be reinvested. The monarch also owns the royal palaces, which are not part of the crown estate, and part of the royal collection of art, but these do not generate income. Some palaces are looked after and funded by the royal family itself. Others, such as the Tower of London, are managed by historic royal palaces and independent charity. The royal collection is also run by a charity, the Royal Collection Trust, which reinvests income received from ticket sales and retail outlets. The king also privately owns properties such as Sandringham and Balmoral. In addition, some royal family members have private art, jewelry and stamp collections which they can sell or use to generate income as they wish. Do members of the royal family pay tax? In 1992, the Queen volunteered to pay income tax and capital gains tax on her personal income, and the king does the same. The two duchies are exempt from corporation tax, but the king and the Prince of Wales voluntarily pay income tax on the revenue they generate. However, the amount of tax they pay is not made public. They do not pay capital gains tax because they do not benefit personally from any increase in the duchy's assets. Members of the royal family pay tax on any income generated from privately owned assets. King Charles does not have to pay inheritance tax on the money he received when Queen Elizabeth died, under the sovereign-to-sovereign exemption agreed in 1993 by then Prime Minister John Major. What about security and other costs? Some argue that the true cost of the royal family is much greater than the size of the sovereign grant. It does not cover their security arrangements, which are usually paid for by the Metropolitan Police, although the cost is not disclosed. In May 2023, the Treasury confirmed that Queen Elizabeth II's funeral had cost the government an estimated £162 million. It is not yet known what the King's coronation cost, although unofficial estimates suggest it could be between £50 million and £100 million. Republic, an organization which campaigns for an elected head of state, previously estimated that the total yearly cost of the monarchy, once security and other additional costs are factored in, is about £345 million. How much money does the royal family generate for the UK economy? It is impossible to provide a concrete figure for the scale of the royal family's contribution to the UK economy. Estimates vary considerably. The consultancy Brand Finance argues the cost of royal family is eclipsed by what it contributes by boosting tourism and trade. However, Republic questions the validity of its sums, and points out that many of the royal family's assets are the property of the state. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.